Hey, Hal here. Just wanted to tell you we're excited about our partnership with Minus 33. Minus 33 specializes in merino wool base layers for outdoor enthusiasts, from tops and bottoms to hats, socks, gloves, and our gear is going to keep you warm and comfortable no matter what adventure you're on, especially those big woods ones. We're a fifth-generation family, owned and operated, a New Hampshire woolen textile manufacturer. They have over 106 years of woolen expertise, and they started manufacturing woolen socks, the Mountain Heritage ones, in New Hampshire in 2018, with the idea that a quality product, affordable pricing, and can be worn and loved from season to season, no matter what your experience level or skill is, so no one should feel uncomfortable or ill-prepared in the outdoor community. Having a reliable gear is one of the first steps towards a lifetime of passion or whatever activity it is. And my caveat to that is you got to wear your woolies. Cotton is death.
This is the Big Woods Bucks podcast. Come explore the big woods and timber in North America with your host, Maine Master Guide and deer tracking expert Hal Blood. Listen to Hal and co-hosts Lee Libby and Joe Cruzy as they unlock the secrets of big woods whitetails. Each episode will provide valuable insights into the tried and true system Hal has used for the last 40 years to scout, locate, and hunt mature big woods bucks. Listen and laugh as the crew discusses Hal's legendary adventures and learn how to apply a lifetime's worth of lessons from the big woods to your own hunting and outdoor adventures.
Welcome to the Big Woods Bucks podcast. Sitting down here at Lake Parlin again. And we don't know where the heck Bad Lee is. He's off on I think he's on a winter expedition or something. But
have you sent the search party yet?
Haven't sent it yet. But he don't return calls or anything, so he's something serious going on.
Wow.
Probably on his snowmobile somewhere. He's probably lost up in the chick chalks or some damn thing.
He was trying to sell me his snowmobile last time I saw him.
Oh, he was? So today we got a pretty good crew here. We got Joe, of course.
Hello.
And but we do have Goodley here.
Morning.
And Rick Labbe.
Hello.
And back by popular demand, Garnett Robinson.
Howdy. Howdy, I mean.
So, anyways, we're getting further into the winter here. Like, we're getting down towards the end of February now, ain't we? The last throes of February, and it's still been a pretty mild winter for the North Country standards, I guess.
I would say very mild to this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty mild. This morning, we were supposed to get some snow today. All of a sudden, it wasn't supposed to, but it said 1 to 3 last night and 5 to 8 today. But get up this morning to come down, and I said, the snow ain't started yet. I stepped outside, and there was a quarter of an inch of ice on my truck. I had to get it thawed out, but it's supposed to go back to snow today. Looks like it will. It's pretty dark, but so anyways, hopefully it gets to snow before it gets too much of that ice on it. It's bad for the deer, them kind of icy crusts, but
Bad for everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the deer have been, they've had a heck of a nice winter. Problem is because we've had this kind of weather with a lot of this, we get these warms just enough, and then we get a crust, so it's hard to run the dogs, that crust stuff cuts their feet, so.
We've been, you see the roadkills pick up right away down in the forest once you get a little bit of snow, and it's been pretty much every day now. Going home the other night, my buddy was ahead of me by a couple miles, and, we use the roadkill for coyote bait, so he calls me, he said, one just got hit in front of me. Told me where it was. He said it got flung off the side of the road, and so I looked when I went by, and I couldn't find anything there. He said, well, last time I saw it, it was clawing its way up the bank, and it made it. And then he goes,
yep.
But there's another one about 2 miles up the road on the left that just got hit. So,
geez, that's too bad.
Yeah, yep. It is.
I picked one up below Kingfield a week ago, and the warden come down and tagged it. He told me the roadkill tags have exceeded the hunting season tags now.
That's not good.
Statewide?
No, that was it. Down
in that area.
Kingfield. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was Dan Christensen come down and tagged it. Yeah.
Yeah. There hasn't been too many uptown. I was one yesterday. One had got hit at Roland Seavy's there, top of the hill, and it's usually the truckers. They come hammering down that stretch at night. Pitch over the hill there, and they get it. But I come by all the time. It's kind of funny. Them deer usually look both ways before they cross there. And, if they see a vehicle, a lot of them go back, but I guess if a vehicle's going fast enough, they can't avoid it or they get confused or whatever. But
I had one going home the other night. There was a truck coming, and I saw the deer crossing, and I'm coming to the truck. And I was like, oh, jeez. I thought he never slowed down. He never even – all he had to do was tap his brakes, and he never did. He just missed it, but I thought I was getting that one in the grill from him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was surprised that I can tell there's a lot more deer because down at deer yard, the north side of town, Rick, it's more deer in there than usual, and all the deer ain't there because they're still spread out. But
right, they haven't come. Yeah.
I think Calvin told me that Wayne Sivney there's feeding like 60 of them at his house. It's the most ever. Usually he has 30,
Wow.
35.
Yeah.
And there's a lot in there, but there's still a lot outside of there. They're still out off in places they haven't come down. And I was coming home going to town the other day, and right there by McTavish Pond there, that's a cedar run that runs up through, and there's still deer up in there. And I went from my house the other day, and I came up through the Coburn Pond trail, and there was deer tracks here and there. They're still living way up there by Coburn Pond, just by my house.
Yeah.
Usually they're not. Usually by then they've pushed down and they go down heel stream.
Right. Another foot of snow, they would.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're getting around pretty good.
Yeah, they're getting around. Even under the green growth, there ain't a foot of snow underneath there.
Yeah. We were over to Rangeley like 2 weeks ago running bobcats, and there's deer this year where there's never deer.
Yeah.
Just 2 or 3 miles from the yard.
Yeah.
So,
how much snow over that way?
Rangeley had the most snow. Well, between Eustis and Rangeley off 15 there, that's the most snow of anywhere we've been in the state.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably it was to your knees.
Yeah. And that's not really much. I mean,
no.
Because that's about behind my house, it's about where it is, maybe just barely over my knee. And but you come downtown, down there down by the lake in the deer yard in there. I said, boy, it don't look like a lot of snow in here, and it was just to the top of my boots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, there's been a lot of wind. You get a lot of wind, and they've got all kinds of feed. Why bother to...
Yeah, they don't. That's all that stuff. You look out in the woods now, and there's all them fir limbs and stuff that blew out of the trees. We had that big wind when it was cold, and they can walk around and pick up stuff everywhere. So,
yeah.
And now, once we're almost to March, even if it gets cold at night, the days are long, huh? Everything starts dripping, but
Stephen and I have been doing a little bit of redneck logging out behind the house. We got some building projects, so we've been cutting cedars, but we're just cutting them like a couple at a time. And it's just like ringing the deer dinner bell for those deer. They'll come in, clean them up the first night, which is good because we put trail cameras out. We hadn't seen any coyotes. We had 8 deer feeding on all those tops, but last week there's a big coyote. He looked like he's probably a 40-pounder. So if you end up with a spare carcass you don't need, Joe, I'd put one up by my camp. I'd like to get him out of there before he does any damage. But it's funny how those deer, after we did it the first time, it took them a couple days to find it. But now every time they hear the chainsaw, they're right in there that night.
How much snow you got down your way?
Oh, not that much. Probably a foot, maybe, something like that.
Yeah.
But it depends on where it is. But I'm only 15 minutes north of Skowhegan, but I may have a little over a foot. But I notice all the way up through, like even in the Forks, I don't think there's any more snow on the Forks than there is down where I live in Cornville.
No, there isn't.
Seth there from, I said 201 Outfitters last time. It's actually 207 Outfitters.
Yeah.
He called me and let me know. But anyway, that's who I've been, whenever I'm able to get one, I try to get him to Seth, but he's all set right now, so I'll bring one. But he actually told me he shot one, I think, calling over by your house, right? It looked like it was, from what he said, I think it was a field right down the road from your house. So he got one of them out of there, I think.
That the guy hunting on your piece?
Yep.
Seth? Yeah. Did he kill any over there?
I don't think he's killed anything there yet. No. He's
That
got
was loaded
a bunch of
with
the different
tracks.
places. Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, good news for the deer, anyways. So I got to do some housekeeping here. Chris will fire me if I don't do my housekeeping work on these. All right. Oh, we got to talk about the raffle again that Mark Woodman's doing with the muzzleloaders there. We had him at the show and sold quite a few tickets over there, but we're still trying to raise money for that Boston's Children's Hospital and the cancer stuff there. So they've got the tickets online now, right? Yep, you can buy them right on the website if you want tickets to that to support the cause. Really, it's not about. I mean, yeah, it's two good guns to win that set of Woodman Arms muzzleloaders in that beautiful case and stuff there. But it's more the cause. Supporting the kids that get cancer and stuff and all of that. So if you feel inclined to go on and buy a ticket or two there, you can just go on our website and get that.
Yeah, that's a beautiful set of guns.
Yeah.
It really
got
is.
That curly maple there. The boxes match, everything matches there, so it's pretty nice. I even thought them ball starters were cool. I didn't even know they made them, but they make a cool little ball starter, and there's a set of those that go with them that matches with the wood. So I don't know if any of you's been on, but we finally got the website up and running, the new website, the refresh we've been working on for quite a while, and I guess it's pretty handy. So if you've noticed it, comment on if it's user-friendly. We think it is. And so we've ended up now we got some of the stuff put on there. So one of them, I think we talked last time about the coats being on there, and the packs will be pretty soon. They're building the new packs. But so we were out of books. We call the second edition. It's my combination of the first two books, but those we just got in, right, Joe?
Yep, I got a pallet of them.
Got a pallet of them books, so they'll be.
Those are going to be fun to lug downstairs.
Yeah. Well, you need a little exercise.
Yeah, I know.
Sitting in that groomer all the time.
Yep.
So, So we got those books. They'll on the site, and the other thing that's new on there is the socks. I think we talked about that last time. The minus 33 socks and all that stuff. But we got a couple of models there with a Big Woods logo on them. The sock liners and we call them the lightweight. I really think they're medium weights, but so those will be on the site. And what else we got here? Oh, I wanted to say something about. We had a little phone call with Zoom call, I guess it was, with Jared from Onyx the other day there, and so there's a couple of cool things coming out. They're not out yet, but they will be. It's this year's initiatives they're working on, and one of them was something that we had kind of requested, and it's a feature to give you a direction and a bearing to where you're going. In other words, it's like your GPS. If you punch in a point, it gives you X bearing to get there. Well, Onyx didn't have that, but they're going to have that now. So if you punch in your truck or you got a signpost in the woods you want to get to or something, it'll give you the exact bearing to get there.
I've got Onyx now.
Garnett?
I see him smirking over there when you start talking about it. He's so proud of himself.
First time I used it, I forgot it in the truck and asked Gordon how long it took me to get out of the woods.
You didn't have your compass?
I had my compass, but I didn't pay attention to how far. I was trying to push deer to him supposedly, but I was really hunting. And I got carried away. Normally I'm paying attention. I knew which direction I had to go back out, but I got worried that I went past the road where he was. So I called him. I said, "You got to come out to," and he goes, "You're lucky I know where this country, because I walked all the way out this other road." but Onyx, I've used it since. I do have it now.
You like it?
Yeah, I went in. I want to thank Joe for letting me take his daughter out hunting. I went with Leah. And
good thing you said hunting.
Yeah.
No, he'd be scared.
She's a little young for you, Garnett. Maybe not.
No. If I was a young fella, that kid and I'd be fighting. She's such a good girl. She's nice. She's like my daughter's age. But the thing is, going in there, I'm going to scare Joe. She and I have a real similar sense of humor.
That is scary.
Yeah. We're in there.
She had a great day, by the way, too. I really appreciate you taking her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, glad you're up in the technological age.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was glad you were in there. And I sometimes I don't like it because we went 3.8 miles downhill, ended up going all the way out to a road, and somebody picked up we saw a truck, and somebody picked up the track we were on. And she's like, well, it's 2.6 miles up directly to the truck, and it's all uphill. I was looking at her, and I was like, man, I just didn't want to know that.
Have you been on this since you went hunting with her that day?
No, that's
right. Oh, okay, good. Yeah, because you can tell that later on. Yeah.
You've been on since then. You've told that story.
No.
Huh?
No, I haven't been on since I went hunting with her. No, I haven't been on since last spring or before hunting season.
You've been drinking again?
No, I haven't been. I've only been on. I've been on twice. The second time I went on, it was before hunting season because we were talking. And you
because that's pretty good. You shot at a big one that day, right?
Oh, see, you're not supposed to say that. I missed one. Yeah, I didn't bring a gun the first day with her.
This might have been just stories you was telling us.
I didn't want. Yeah, I probably told you, but I don't want. Now I have to admit to another miss. This is she was so fun. I went in and I have my ringtones that don't come a looking. I said you might not want to play because that song come on. Afterwards, she goes, "There's our song," like that. I don't know if you know the one I'm talking about. You know the song?
No. Play it for us when you get it.
I'm going to put the ringtone for a second here, and we'll just...
some good outlaw country.
Yeah.
Well, Garnett's trying to find his ringtone. I got the last little thing I want to say about the Onyx was...
Because that's a big one, right?
Yeah, it's a big one. They're working on it. It's not finalized. They're working on getting up-to-date satellite imagery that will be refreshed like on a monthly basis. That's going to be huge. So anything that was...
Wow.
happened in the last, since they took the pictures, and they do take them all the time, so it'll be...
Yeah, because right now we're looking at some stuff like 2 years old.
Yeah, some of it is. It's funny because it depends where it is. Some stuff is older, but some stuff is not, it's like...
Yeah.
I've gone in some places, and it's things that were done in less than a year, and it's on there, and in other places, it's not. I mean, it was kind of strange that up to my house until recently it's on there now, but I mean my house has been there for 9 years, and then up until a year or so ago my house wasn't there.
Didn't show it.
No.
Wow.
It just that particular area, but within 5 miles of there, there was cuts that were a year old that were on there. Strange. It's just
that's strange. The way they update some areas right next to each other.
But that's pretty cool. It's going to be, if they get it all ironed out, that it'll be pretty up-to-date imagery. Anyway, it's pretty huge.
Garnett's going to start using it at work.
Yeah, probably, You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going to make your job easier.
I don't know. With me using it, maybe not.
Yeah. All right. You got your ringtone ready?
Oh, yeah, I can do it. It's actually...
what? This is what you have on your phone?
This is my ringtone, but it's like if I don't come back, don't come a-looking. And I said, and I played...
Yeah, that fits.
One hand, beer in another. Wait till you hear this, Joe. You're going to love it. He wrote it for me. It's basically, if I don't come back, don't come looking. It's the words.
We're going to get flagged on YouTube for playing the music.
No, it's like, that was my ringtone. And she goes, yeah, we won't play that for Mom. We're in there, and she really does have an unbelievable sense. I had so much fun with her. I really appreciate you letting me take her out.
Oh, absolutely. Hopefully you guys make it a yearly thing.
I'll take her back out. I'll tell you what, she'll kill some deer.
Well, I heard that no matter where the deer was killed, you'd come drag it.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, you've messed
I think
me
you're
up.
going to be in trouble.
Yeah. Well, the first day we go in there, and I was like, I thought he was out west. You know, this cat was supposed to be gone, so I was like,
Who's this cat?
My buddy Rick. So I was like this, and I took my brother, my son-in-law out again, and he killed an 8-point. You know, but I had a big one in front. I was stunned when he got his because I see the doe and the buck go, and I started to run. I was I didn't think he even see him. All of a sudden I hear a shot, and he goes, "I got it," and I was like looking around. I was like, got what? You know, like that, and he'd. It was an 8-point. It wasn't a big deer, but it was 2 deer trailing that doe. But so I was like, I sent the picture. I sent him a picture, and I said, "Well, you should be back. The deer are moving. The snow is perfect." I sent you a copy of the picture. I said, "I'm hot on now."
I think I was on the track when you sent that.
Oh, you're making me really mad now because I'll tell you. I was like. So I was like, no, well, we were in a little competition, so I didn't. I thought he was out there for the first 2 weeks. It was all warm. I didn't bother to hunt. I said he's out west. I don't have to do anything.
No pressure.
Who's in a competition?
No pressure.
Rick and I got into a little competition. It's like it wasn't. It was a joke. He took it serious later. But it's like
of course he did because he won.
I know. He didn't take it really serious till he won. Yeah, I know.
I don't know if we're going to have that competition next year.
No, I have the trophy from it right now, ready for it. But you know, we did it as I thought we started off like a gentleman's thing, kind of joking. But
Wait, hang on a minute now. You were dead serious when you came in here towards the end of the season. You're like, I gotta get a bigger buck than Rick.
I know,
I got to. This is serious business.
Well, but he got one. I
He
didn't
was
know.
under pressure.
I thought he was gone. So so I guess for your viewers there, we joked about that patch bikini that I had that girlfriend's had. He goes, "Wouldn't it be fun if we took one of our patches or some of our patches, put them on a bikini, and whoever loses, wife wear it?" I was like. Or I might have come up with that. But
You did. You
I
came up
did.
with
I
that.
come up with that.
Yeah,
I was joking, and I said that. And he goes, "I told Nancy she won't stop laughing." Well, I never told Sally about it. I was like this, and I didn't think about it anymore. And then we got in there, and and it's funny. This is when I was telling you, like Leah and I have a real similar sense of humor. I don't want to scare you anymore. But
that alone's pretty scary.
First day we were there, and we're like, I'm way too cocky this year. You know, I mean, I come off a good year to this, and then I've got to learn to be not cocky. I've learned now, but. I had a video camera. I put the GoPro on her, and I had from Alaska. Should use them things more than once because we got up there, we didn't know how to take battery out. You know? But I started off, and I go, I'm going to make this funny because I'm going to trounce him pretty bad. I'll have you shoot the big buck, and then Rick will he'll see me, and I'll get you a big one, and then I'll get me a big one. And then so I'm there, and I did a video, and we put down this. We put down a can of peaches, and I was like that, and I said, "What do you see there, Lee?" And she's like, "Oh, and we did this. We were going to have it like this is a good
I
spot."
saw that.
We put the can of peaches on the rock.
Onto my hot
I was like
spot.
that, and I go, "I think it's a good spot because look who's been here, peaches." So then we went up, did all our little walk. I'm up there, and I shouldn't say it on here, but I cut one, like that. And she turns around and looks at me because I farted, I was like that, and I go, "Buck snort," like that. And I go, "Doesn't your dad say something like that?" And she goes, "Oh no, that's right, he's from Florida, alligator growl." Yeah. Like that. And she goes, and then I said, then she's like something like that, and then she goes, I said, "One thing you're gonna learn: old men are all gross." And she goes, "I'm in big trouble. Braden's gross already." Sorry, Braden. I don't really know Braden.
Poor Braden.
Poor Braden. But we
Braden's her husband, so if you're a new husband.
He's not even here to protect himself.
He's not even here to defend himself. So
That's when we attack around here.
Well, they did that whole thing, and we had 2 or 3 things where she and I had more fun hunting with her than I've hunted with almost anybody. So
well, since you're there, why don't you talk about anything that you saw out there that day?
Oh yeah. Well, the first day we didn't. We went up there and where I was hunting.
We went up where?
I'm not going to say you, but Hal.
I know where.
and so doesn't Hal. Hal. I've shot a lot of deer in that mountain way back, but Hal knows that area. And way I hunt, I was telling you, I don't go to the road. I go out behind there and find my. If I go up and find my tracks, different spots. Well, there's 2 places the deer will cross this mountain, and if they go on the other side of that mountain, there's no roads there anymore, and there's cuts. There's reason for deer to be there, but you can't get them. And
big country.
It's big country, and it's big hard country. But I had a track coming uphill, and I knew it went up the stream. That's one of the places they go up. There's moose trails up there, and they go up. There's another places. So I said, well, we're not taking this one because you hadn't told us you'd drag yet. So we went. So I said, well, you know what? Let's walk. I was feeling her out, seeing how she was going to hunt. So I said, why don't we'll follow this one back from where he came. We'll just see where he's come from. And we got there, and she was in a couple of spots. I was showing her where he bedded and looked over a cut. And I said, this is the type of spot you look. And he stayed in the back, showed her where he'd crossed, and I said, went down, and we hunted the whole side of that mountain, just didn't find any tracks or anything going our way. So I cut down through to the bottom and found a stream, and there's a buck track going up. That was just the perfect one to follow because every 100 yards he's digging about a scrape. He's just
right.
He would have been the type that had been busy.
Yeah, he's messing around.
You'd have a chance, but the problem is he went up into that other notch. He never went out by the roads. And I showed her, I said, this is how I find my tracks is that, I look for ones that aren't in the road. Well, the next day I was supposed to have her for 3 days, and then because of Thanksgiving, she couldn't. And so I was like, I said, well, I don't even know if I'd hunted it before, but I went across and I see a crotch horn. Had fun when I went in there, and I got into a big set of blowdowns. And I don't know if you have the same thing with blowdowns, but those deer like to lay up with their back to them. And this was a whole area that had blown down for maybe a quarter mile. And I just kept going down through those blowdowns, looking down in there with my scope, just trying to. I have a scope with over and under, so I was working my way down through. I got near the bottom, and I got lackadaisical, and I just started to walk. And all of a sudden, I jumped a big buck, and he went right down over the hill. But then I thought about that spot, and I was going to come back down here the next day. But we're in there, and I was talking about where we'd been, and Joe goes, doesn't matter where you guys get your deer. You mark it on your Onyx, and we'll come get it. And I looked at her. I said, change of plans. We're going back into that country there because I said we'll find
way back
because these were big monstrous tracks. I was like, whatever we get here is going to be a good one. So, and I brought her back in there, and the first thing couldn't find a track. It just snowed that night. So I was like this, and I did everything that I said I don't do. I jumped in the truck, and we're driving up and down the road. and the funny thing is usually that country has some people from Vermont, but they stayed after Thanksgiving. Normally they're gone Thanksgiving Day, and I usually have no competition. Well, there's evidently some competition because we're meeting people, and I was like getting a pit in my stomach. I'm like, we're not finding any tracks. And
where'd these guys come from? Yeah,
I went to another spot where I'd hunted with my uncle and Brian, and I brought them in that country. They had never really hunted in there. And actually, I was going to apologize to Mount Vinan because I saw him on the road when I was in there, and he goes, "You see any deer?" I was all sweat because I chased one out by the road, and I was waiting, and my cousins they're all on tracks, and they're jumping deer back and forth, and I was like, well, seen a few tracks around, but there's but you can't feel bad for Matt. He's an awesome hunter. So
oh yeah,
I know. I was there.
Pity for Matt.
I was like, I didn't feel that. I was losing the pity. I mean, but it was funny anyway.
I stole the track away from him last year. I didn't know it till the end of the day.
Oh, did you? Oh, jeez.
He calls me and he says, was that a fresh track you were on? I said, yeah, it was pretty fresh. He goes, yeah, I was like 5 minutes behind it, and you jumped on the track. And he says, I come out to your truck. He says, the motor was still warm.
Well, that happened to Leah and I. We went the first day. We went, like I said, 3 miles. And I know when we were talking, if she hadn't had her on it, she thought we were like going off, deer go back and forth.
Right.
I was like, we're going in one direction. I said, we're 2 miles straight downhill here. It's going someplace. And she pulled up her Onyx, and I was like, she goes, oh, my God, you're within whatever of that. I said, well, I have a pretty good idea because we're going to have to walk back. I didn't have Onyx at the time, but she sold it.
Yeah.
She sold it to me pretty hard.
Pretty handy.
So we went through all that and didn't get any. The second day, couldn't find a track, and I finally said, we're going to go back into those firs where Matt and them and where I'd met them out on the road. First thing I did is, we would come out, and we must have driven by where that track had crossed the road on a little crest. So we'd missed his track where he crossed the road and ended up going probably a half mile of our walk crossing a road. And then we went down through, and we went quite a ways, and we got down to the stream, and we weren't going to be like Badley and Wade or strip down to our skivvies or you didn't strip, you just jump in.
Right.
But,
Ring them out after.
We both looked at it, and I was like this, and I said, we're going to find a place where we can cross this. And we were walking up, and all of a sudden I see a truck in the road. I could see a truck through the trees, and I go, that's a bad sign. Like that. We got up there, and somebody was on the, got on our track where he crossed down the road. But we went up, and then we were walking back up, and we see a set of prints. She goes, oh, there must be another one. And it really, I'm sure it was that guy. Probably just he's deer coming back on his track. But we were going all the way back up through there, and I feeling like.
Was that a Vermont guy?
Yeah.
Oh, it was, yeah.
Yeah, there's quite a pack of guys that was in there.
I find a lot of guys I come to a road and somebody will take the track and I'll just stay on it for like another quarter of a mile, and lots of times those guys
off it. Yeah.
They'll get off it and just give up and
Yeah.
loop left or right, and I'll stay on the track. I don't know why they do that, but
I think it's because they're hoping if they get it within a half mile of the road, they're all good. But if they get more than a half mile away, they're like, that's too far for me to drag. So like you said, they get off.
Well, I had to drag her. But no, we were going, and I was dejected seeing that. So we were going back up, see the track cross. And then I got up there, and I was like, boy, what a dud. I didn't show her anything, really, some moose. But the thing I liked more about Leah than anybody I've ever been with, we were going by, and she'd walk by, and where he'd rubbed or something, or I was like, showed her it, and she's like, oh, like she was in such a hurry watching the track, not really, and I was showing her different stuff, and then she stopped, and she goes, can I take a picture of that view? And I was like, yeah, well, why not? Here, jump in there, and I took a picture of the mountains out back, and we got down, we see moose, and so I videoed her walking up with a moose in front of her. I thought I was going to make this epic thing where she finally blasts one in front of me.
right.
But we get out there, and I gave her, I was like, by then we're like heading back to the truck, and there's maybe 45 minutes left. I mean, we weren't going to have time to do anything other than shoot something in the road on the way out or something, and I gave her a little can call. I said, you tweet on that, hunt out in front of me. I was watching her hunt, really. She's really doing a really good job. She's going to be a killer if she wants to be. But so I went off.
She wants to be.
All right, well, then she will be. She will be, because the way she was hunting, she was positive about it.
Yeah,
Kevin,
she's always been gung ho from the time.
But she was hunting.
She started hunting when she was 10, when she could legally.
She
hunt,
was going
she's been pretty
slow,
gung-ho.
and she was doing things right. She was doing everything that I couldn't have shown her anything, I guess, because I'm a dud. But we were going up the hill anyways, and I said I'll blow like I'm a buck following it, and I went off the side, and I said, then I got it in my mind, and there was a pile of deer in here this morning when we found that trap. Maybe I'll just jump something to her. But apparently I can't be like Rick and go 13 miles and take video of myself and be like, I breathe. I was like going. I kept saying, suck it up, Buttercup, because I take every step, because it's all straight uphill in the snow, I was like knee deep. I kept saying that to myself, and I was doing everything that I told you guys that normally do, I wasn't doing it. I was like looking at the ground, thinking I don't want to know how far I got to go to get to that truck. I'm just next thing I look up and there's a buck hopped into the trail in front of me, and I was like, "Oh!" And I the first day I didn't bring a gun. The second day when you'd given us that you'd tag and do it, not
Tag and drag.
Well, that sounds bad. No tagging, people. Wardens. Wasn't talking tagging, dragging. But, we're in there, and the thing is, I asked her, I go, have you shot a running deer before? Because like we're gonna do, first thing I'm gonna see if we can get one to move. Know where he is, and if he's,
Right.
I mean, if we don't, I mean, I shouldn't say we get one to move. That's what happens when I track. They move. But I asked her, and she goes, I've never shot, but I'll try. And I said, that's the perfect answer. I grabbed my gun, and I said, we'll both try. and then whatever happens, you see that deer go down, don't stop shooting until it doesn't move. And it'll be yours. That. So I had it in my mind that we're going to work together as a team. She was all for it. So it wasn't when we were in there, and so I had my gun, and when it jumped into I was like, I would have had that deer easy if I'd been looking up. Because I could see where he'd come up in the hardwoods. He would come up through hardwoods where I was. Like 40 yards in front of me. Hopped. So when I saw him, he's in the road making,
He was a big one?
Oh, he's a good one.
Yeah.
Not enough to beat you, because but it was a good enough that I just pulled and shot.
Would have shot him,
And then I was like trying to come up with whether I was going to tell her I'd seen a partridge or something. And then I was like, I can't do that because you probably see the deer. So I was like, I had to. And she come out and she did everything right. She waited. She heard me shoot. I really wanted a deer to go to her. That's how bad a guy I am. They come to me.
She would have been just as happy if you would have shot it.
I wanted her to get one, but anyways, that was how that happened. And I don't know. I trying to show her one, and she showed me one. She's working to become a guide, and hire her because she showed me one.
Hey, Hal here. I want to talk a little bit about our partnership with OnX Hunt. I've been using it for a while now, and if anybody knows me, they know I'm not a very techie person, but the OnX app is it's a real time saver. I remember the days when we poured over topo maps everywhere we was going to go and stuff, and I don't do that quite as much anymore. Where it's really helped me is scouting, whether it's deer scouting, a moose, or even turkey hunting in the spring, which I do. It really helps out. I don't have to spend as much time running around the truck burning up the gas. I'm just basically using my OnX. Got it on my phone. Don't even carry a GPS anymore. So I just download the areas where I'm going to be hunting, whether it's up north moose hunting, and I use it mostly on the satellite imagery. I like to see the cuts and the clearings and the turkey hunting, the hidden fields and stuff. But everybody's using it now, from the game wardens to land surveyors, and just a great tool. And with our partnership with OnX, if you use a code BWB, you're going to receive 20% off on your first premium or elite memberships. And you just go to onxmaps.com/hunt. You'll be glad you did. Good luck on the trail.
Hey, Hal here, and I want to tell you about Spearfish Forest Products. They're still hiring for skilled labor. They filled some of the other positions, but they're particularly looking for millwrights, electricians, and saw filers. And the locations for these would be Spearfish Forest Products in Spearfish, South Dakota, and Montrose Forest Products in Montrose, Colorado, a division of Neiman Enterprises. Same benefits. They got access to public land available for all outdoor activities. They're doing sign-on bonuses. There's free health care for employees and families, 401k with a company match, and also relocation assistance. So anybody interested in moving and you have any of those skills, you can contact John Fennelson at 307-760-7907 or email hr@Neiman, NEIMAN.com. And their website is NeimanEnterprises.com. Hope you get a position and enjoy it out west.
You all know Big Woods Bucks is devoted to promoting the best equipment for tracking and still hunting the big woods. Part of that equation for success is the sights that sit on your hunting rifle. We've chosen Skinner Sights as the company to produce our custom-built BWB Tracker Series peep sight. It's constructed of solid steel, has our custom ghost ring, and was co-developed by some of the best trackers in the world. To get yours, go to bigwoodsbucks.com and click on the optics tab.
Was that the same day after you took Leah that I saw you down the store?
No. I'm telling them we're going to get to that.
Oh, okay.
We're going to get to that. First thing is, I'm going to tell you, like, I really thought, I can't say the make fun stuff like I was going to anymore because, like, he did win. But I figured you hired him because he was an international model. And he'll tell me if I'm lying about this. Because, like, remember I told you last time his dad and him, they'd always talk about where they gone fishing. And they go, and I knew they'd gone with Labrador Air Safari. So I saved all my pennies after I got divorced. Probably you paid for it, Hal. I think, you probably paid for my trip. But I
think you made it up with your tips.
I think I probably did. I don't know. But actually, and anybody on here, I'm guiding for Hal again this year. I thought he should have did it for a bid, but I already got me hired. I'm doing 1 week for him, but I owe him. He did a lot for me. He's actually my Uncle Hal because I've always called him my Uncle Hal. He's the same.
What week are you doing, Garnett?
I'm first week, and whoever goes with me, we're gonna get a monster. We're gonna work for it. Huh? I'm going to be cocky about that because, like, him and this who's this guy I'm going with? I don't even know. Like, I wanted somebody like Leah, but I was like, I don't care now. I'm going to work hard. I've already dreamed up what I'm going to do, and nobody does it. And we'll see if it works.
His name is Jason.
Jason. Hey, Jason. You and I are going to have some fun. We're going to work.
He's a Mainer.
Is he?
Nice.
Lives down at Buckfield.
Loves to hunt. Buckfield.
Yeah.
Oh, my sister-in-law has the store there. Tickums. Yep. Yeah. Good. All right, buddy. We're gonna do something nobody else doing. I can't say it on here, or everybody will do it. We're gonna try something different. But anyways, I saved all my money. Drove to Bay Como because that's where you got to drive to get to. I drove way the hell up there. I go into this, and most people don't realize I speak French a little bit, and it's because of Mike Stevens' wife's mother. Way back, I had. So I go into this place where it was Labrador Air Safari. They had a little office. This nice looking blonde standing there. I'm newly divorced, so I go. Comment ça va, mademoiselle? Je m'appelle Garnett. Like that, and I was like telling her. Then I looked. She kept looking up at the wall and like that, and like I'm trying to give her some words of encouragement to come fly with me. Like go to the camps. Might as well see what you're advertising here. But I looked. She kept looking up at the wall, and I was like this. And I turned around. And I look up at the wall, and I was getting C blocked. If you guys can fill on all those words by my little buddy over here, because he's standing there with a togue on the picture, size of that right there. And he's in their brochure, and there's him with a big togue, his shirt off. Modeling, and he got and you asked Nancy, he got paid for this, didn't you? Yep,
I did.
So,
yeah.
Yep. So that's why and that's kind of how I found you guys.
I won a free trip for the whole family to Labrador Air Safari the next year over that picture.
No kidding.
Like $5,500 trip. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. And it's a fact. He was in their brochure. He was on.
Oh, I seen the picture. That's a monster fish too.
I
don't give him that. Jeez. Oh, he's already got a big enough head. I don't know how he walks through the woods like that. But anyways, he had that. Same. That's how I found you guys. I figured I was going to joke with all of you that Hal hired based on looks. You guys are all good-looking guys. And I was going to say something like I saw these huntresses with their underwear heading for the stage, but but now that everybody shot a deer and I didn't, it kind of puts the kibosh to that. So anyways, we got in this contest, which I didn't think it was really a contest. We just threatened it. It wasn't really. I thought it was kind of funny, and Nancy thought it was funny. It's all like that. Well, the same day he got that deer, I didn't know he's back. That's kind of cheating by itself. You should let people know if you're a
that was the fish, but not.
That's not the picture.
No.
He's half naked in the picture, the one that was up on their wall. He had no shirt on. And I remember it distinctly because like that, I watched her looking up at the wall, and I'm like going, I turn around, I'm like, you got a live big G in front of you, and you're looking at him? I'm like, holy cow. Yeah, but
Rick, you'll have to send that picture to Chris so he can put it on the thumbnail. Size of that fish.
I'm telling you right now, it's like a 40-pound togue or something like that. But it's a big togue.
No, that one wasn't.
Well, it's a big one.
I did catch a 42-pounder there, but this one was maybe like 25, 20.
Whatever. You were on the wall.
Just like, a little one, bait fish.
It was. If you look at the wall, it had a big poster of him. I'm like, how in the hell did this happen? Like I'm up in Canada and I'm like getting my buddy's wrecking it for me, and he's married. But anyways, I went fishing up there. But I come back, and my wife was having surgery that day, and I still thought he was out west. I sent him that picture from my son-in-law the day before, and I was like, I figured he's out west. The next day, my wife's having surgery, and I called her before she's going in to have a bone out of her foot and stuff, and she goes, I go, you want me to come back for it? And she's like, you don't have to. It's all right. I know you like to hunt. And I was like, good. And then I was like thinking about back when I got divorced, I was like this, and back then is I worked so much, and the UPS guy was making extra deliveries. But this one, I was like going, holy cow, like that doesn't sound. I said, I'll come out like I was hunting, and then I just felt guilty. So I come out, and I went, took a shower. I put on my best camouflage sweatpants, he'll tell you. And I put on a shirt, and I dressed like I was southern down Portland or something. And I was going to go to actually a friend of ours, Kim Webb. You're talking Andy Webb. His wife was her birthday. Yeah. So I said, I better stop. I had a tire. I had bent a rim. It was like $600. But my friend Andy and Carney were trying to bend it out. I said, I'll stop and get that. I'll get her a bottle. And who was playing there? They had, I'll remember it in a minute. But I said, I'll swing in. So I swing in and I'm going to get a bottle. Well, the first thing, I go over to get the tire, and I start to walk across the yard, and somebody yelled my name. This kid coming up in the truck, and I was like, it gave me a pang in my stomach because I felt like wardens yell your name sometimes. I didn't know.
They've never yelled my name, Garnett.
I was like, well, I wasn't really thinking like that, but I just didn't know. Like I was looking at somebody who didn't know me. You know what I mean? And he goes, "Are you Garnett Robinson?" Because that's what it was. Are you? And I was like this, and you don't usually get asked that unless there's something like coming behind it or something. And I'm turning and looking. He's up in the truck coming he goes, I heard you with a podcast with Hal and Rick. And I was like, oh, and Joe. And I was like, yep, that's me then. And then he goes, his buddy got a deer, so his first buck. And I go, I got to go congratulate the kid. I go over, and there's a 4-point, but it was a racked 4-point, not a crotch horn. It had a rack going out, and it was like a 170-pound deer or something like that. So I congratulate him. I go across the street, getting my tire. I'm wheeling it back. Gonna go, and then I was going to go and get the bottle. And I look, and there's another truck over there. And I was like, somebody else got a deer. And I wheel over there, bring my tire over, throw it in the truck. I go in, and I look, and I see Rick standing there, and I'm like, oh no. He's getting his license out. And I go, what the hell's he doing here? Like that. So I walk over. And I go.
He grabs me by the shoulder.
I did it first. I went like this. I go, is it a good one like that? I started to go, and this kid. I was like, this is where I'm not sure he really does everything you say about tracking. I'm going to tell you this too, because I'm not 100% sure because he brings bodyguards and a whole team of pygmies with him. Because I was standing there, these kids were there, and he turns and they go like this. And I go, is it? And this kid turned I go, he get a good one like that? And they go, do you know who that is? I go, yeah, it's Peaches. And he's like this, and he goes, that's Rick Labbe, like he's really angry. I was like, ooh. I was like that, and I go like this, and I start to grab him by the shoulder to say something to him, and he turns his head and he goes, "I've set the bar pretty high." And I go, "Really?" And I stopped what I was doing because I'd picked up a bottle. I had a bottle there, and I was going to go.
A bottle of what?
It's Crown Royal for, and I didn't realize she didn't drink it. You know,
Yeah.
No, it was actually for the Kim. I was going to stop at the Marshall. Oh, actually, Darren Bissett. If you ever see it, he's a world-class yodeler. I hope you're listening, Darren.
Really?
He's a great singer. I got to call him a yodeler only because he made fun of me when I walked in there in my sweatpants, I think. But the whole thing is, he says that. He goes, "I set the bar high," and he just smiles. He has a twisted T he's putting up there. I'm like, I went running out. I go out to the truck. I go, "I got to see." And I tell you, the deer looked giant at first because I looked at it. I go, "Oh, no." Because it looked like they took the whole bed of the truck. And I was like this, and I reached in, I touched the horn. I go, "Oh, no." Because it looked like it scored like 150 and that. And I was like, wow. I've got to. And so I was like going, where would I go where they're still big now? Because I was like, but I walk in, and I was like, he didn't make it impossible. But I tell you, I was definitely buck sharked because like last year I shot I shot a big one in 16 point whatever, and I was like, he shot a regular one. I'm like, I'll get him. I'll win this, and you wait and see, Rick.
I was pretty nervous.
Well, you didn't have any reason apparently, but and if I told, like, it's funny, I could tell on Gordon, but Gordon's almost, I think he works for the Warden Service because he knows how to question you in a way. Because every time I see him, like, there's a few times he didn't hunt with me. He's hunting with Sammy or hunting my cousin. Once there gets more than, because I go in there and he'd question me, like, what happened? And he'd hear every time I miss something, he's always like, "Don't worry, Garnett. I'll never tell anyone." And then all of a sudden you realize he works in a store where there's 8,000 people come through. and then I was like, and I'm going to tell on him too for Dragon because like him and Hal went to the same school of Dragon. Remember how I told you the last time, like everybody, it doesn't matter where you are, we'll get it out. My cousin reminded me, my cousin Brian that I talked about, Brian Barry, he's like this, he goes, "Do you remember, like, ever seeing Gordon drag?" Like that. And I was, like, thinking about it. I was like, I'm like, yeah, we do get him out, but, and then he'd be like, he'd always invite us to go hunting. And this is, I don't know if I'll be welcome to the store after this, but he would go, "Yeah, why don't you guys come over? The deer are going, like, crazy over here." And we'd show up, and he'd go, "Well, so-and-so's deer's we got to get it out for him." I don't know if who got it per se, but we wouldn't get hunting until 10 o'clock anytime that Brian pointed that out to me that he and I did a lot of dragging where Gordon talked about in the so that's telling on him. But back to
Gordon's smarter than the average bear. Huh?
Oh, he shot a lot of them. So, but we get back to. Oh, my buddy, I'm going from peaches to patches because just one thing, the first thing you know when you just look at him, there's no orange. It's all red and yellow now. If you ever look at his jacket, like if I was a warden, I'd write him up in the spot and I'd be like, he doesn't leave enough orange showing. But he had I knew it was him the minute all I had to do was crack the door and see that. But like I said, I think that your son-in-law is a professional hunter. Like, in Africa how they have guy hold sticks? That's what it looked like to me because he had a whole group of guys standing around there. "Do you know who that is?" And I'm like, "Well, I do know Rick. I've known him for 30-something years. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure I know who that fella is." But they're really defensive. They're like a little team of bodyguards in there. Am I lying? Am I lying? Did I say that stuff?
I didn't even know any of them.
So I'm not. So I think he's an actor because the other thing I'd heard is they're telling me how he was a world-class cross-country skier when he was a kid. There's no way he was out of breath. He wasn't at all. He stopped. That's acting. I'm pretty sure that he had that team of guys push through. Your son-in-law held sticks and maybe shot. But since I didn't actually see it and the video looks real, I have to, I'm back to...
When Braden hears this, he's going to... Braden...
He's one of the pygmies then.
So we told the story how that all happened, and the timing was I don't even know if you heard this, Garnett. So Rick calls me out of breath that he got this deer down. He said, I don't know how I'm going to get this thing out of here. He said, it's not very far to the road, but he goes, I need help. Where are you? And I said, well, I'm down in Skowhegan. And I said, Braden.
Man.
I said, Braden just left, though. Hold on a minute. So I called Braden. He was, 5 minutes away?
Yeah.
He was coming down the hill, and I said, just turn in that road. I told him where to turn in, and he pulled in and was there with, 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah.
He was there.
Yeah, like 15 minutes he showed up.
I can tell you, like, I know whereabouts Rick was hunting, and where he hunted, he did something most people can't do. And so I was joking before, Patches Pete. I have to give it to him. He's now Mountain Goat Pete, because those gorges and stuff in where he's hunting super hard. Crossing that where he crossed is super hard. He did stuff. I'd go there, and I still want to call you Tippy Toes from that video I watched of you. I was like, I hadn't watched. You know what's funny is I hadn't watched many videos of anything. I hadn't watched and listened to these podcasts till you were telling me I was going to go on one, and I hadn't watched the videos. But I loved that one where you run across the water really fast. I don't know if you had one where you did a little hop and then you just skip across versus like I don't do that. I call him Tippy Toes, and I'm gonna.
Oh, he didn't get his feet wet.
No, he didn't. But where he was, super hard, and it's kind of funny. He talked about it. And he found a dead.
I found a deadhead 8-point.
And I've hunted in that.
Right while I was tracking, I looked down and
he said something about. He goes, I wondered if it was you or Gordon, and there's a funny
it's
thing.
like 3 years old.
Both three. A little while ago, I had Gordon drop me off on a different part, but it would have been down the stream from where he was hunting. I was like, there's an outhouse that was sitting up in the stream at the back of these cuts way back, and my cousin shot some deer in there. We hunted there, but it's on that same area. And Gordon had dropped me off, and I was going to hunt my way all the way back to town, which is 5 or 6 miles. Or no, probably like 4 miles as the crow flies, but the way Garnett goes is longer. It's like I didn't have my onyx,
In the roundabout way.
But I got in there and I had a big buck. It was raining really hard, and I had a big buck jump up in front of me and come down and give me the best shot I've ever had that I didn't get because he's running down over. He's running down. I think Rick would know where I am talking about just from having been in there. There's a little brook, and then there's like a old road comes down, and that deer was running down that road, and I had all that time to aim. I just took my time and shot. He just stumbled. He didn't go down when I shot, and I knew I'd hit him, and then he went down. You could see where he'd actually fallen down below, but there's big blood trail, went right to the stream, and it was raging. At the time there we'd had so much rain that it was, and I kept going up and down that stream. I just didn't find that.
When it's raging, there's really no place you can cross that stream. You can't.
Yeah, it's a bad spot. Like I was looking at it, I was going to go get Gordon. If I saw blood on the other side, I would have got Gordon, and I didn't come out till late. I was dejected. I hunted, looked for that deer for a long time. I don't like losing. Normally, if I have something running, I either miss, which quite often, I guess, or I miss or I get it. But this was raining hard, and there's only maybe that gorge, even though it feels like a long ways, it's maybe only it's just straight up and down. It's worse than the river. Really, so what he did chasing deer in there is like pretty epic, really. So like, I wouldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Couldn't do what he did. He did it, So I'm going to give.
You must have had quite a crowd at the store because I think Steven said he was up here. I think he stopped and
was he one of the pygmies too?
Well, I don't know. Steven,
there's a whole crew that got mad when I was like called them peaches.
Steven, did. When Steven got home, he called me and said, "Geez," he said, "I think Rick might have won the buck pool because I'm the treasurer. By the way, Rick, I got your money for you today.
But I need it."
Yeah. So anyway, Steven had seen you, Buck. I think that must have been when you were tagging it. And he said, yeah, Rick got a really nice one today. He said that one will be hard to beat in the buck pool. So I think Steven must have showed up. There must have been quite a few people there.
Yeah, maybe he did pull into the store.
I don't know. There's like 10. There's probably 10 kids all standing around seeing that. And they go, you know who that is? When I said, is it a big one? Like that, because I was worried for a minute. I was like that.
They were all buck trackers, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, all those kids. And then one of them was like, oh, that's right. I had one.
They were listening to everything you and I said.
Yeah, well, this kid goes, he goes, I see one, and then I shot at one, and then I wasn't sure if it was the same one. And I said, you just keep pulling the trigger, kid. And like that. And he goes, I didn't grow up in a time where I wanted to be, where everybody was an outlaw. And I was like that, and I go, well, I didn't know it sounded like that. But I was like, if there's a question if that's the same deer or not, you're going to be normally shooting. I'm like, well, maybe you're not. But anyways, he had that whole crew there like that. So that was how it was. Well, then he took this whole thing really serious. So I was like this, and I was like, I went home, and I said, I guess I better break it to Sally what we'd originally talked about, like that. So I went online. I ordered this really, and I go, the way to get her into it, I'll just buy a really nice one. So I went online. It's like $80 for this bikini. I was like, I'll make it look real professional. I'll get somebody, got it all sewed up. I was like, didn't matter. So my goal is now I'm gonna now that I know. See, Rick lives within a neighborhood and he has lots of friends. I went ice fishing. We're over there. He has piles of people show up there in the evening. He had people showing up. And he showed me when we're shoveling off his deck. He goes, his wharf, the ramp going down there is broke. He's gonna need help. I'm gonna wear that damn thing. I'm gonna get liquored up, and I'm gonna put on makeup. I'm gonna be one of them hers, and I'm gonna yell up, and I'm gonna Ricky. Oh, Ricky. Yeah, maybe that's what'll happen. You better hope I can get my wife talked into it.
I better invite you guys over. You can stay across the river and video.
So all of this you've said, you really haven't explained what the bet was.
Well, it's a mistake because it's what it is. This is like the same one.
When you lose, it's always a mistake.
Well, before 2 years ago, I remember I told you about my bet with my other buddy, Mike. About the naughty nighty, we were joking around, and we both I can't be in these contests because what happens is I choke. It's like I've just realized now I can't be in contests because it doesn't work for me. But and Mike gets a giant one this year. I sent you a picture at a 14-point with the stuff dropping off, and he's like 220 or something like that. And he's like, "Do you want to wear that nighty?" I'm like, "No, I didn't want to wear it." When the contest ended 2 years ago. I'm done with these contests.
You could wear the nighty with the bikini underneath it.
Maybe I'd cover up. I need a robe. But anyways, it was like I went through that. Everybody I know this year, I got friends that never shot a big buck, and I'm so happy for them. A friend, I'll even say it on here, my friend of mine, Shane Lilly, if you see him, he's in a wheelchair, and he has a show, does videos, Maine hunter or something.
Yeah.
Maine Northwoods hunter, I can't remember, but he actually got a really big one over in Bower Bank, and I was happy. And he always, whenever he sees my deer, like he saw some of my racks, did you get that in Maine? So when I saw his picture on there, I had to send a thing to him. I'm like, did you get that in Maine? Because I thought it was funny to tell him, because he got one like that. And I had another. And I mean, he's my age. He's in his 50s, and there's his first big buck. And
nice.
Another guy I know is probably around 60, and he got his. I was like, good for you guys. I'm glad you did. I missed all mine, so that's good.
So going back to Hal's question, he's
beating around the bush with this.
Yeah.
How we got into this? Yeah. So what happened is from that one where way back when we talked about the patches, I had a girlfriend that worked here, and she took my butt patches, and I thought it was funny, make a bikini. And he goes, wouldn't it be funny? Or I might have said, wouldn't it be funny?
You did. You said.
Yeah, I probably started it by accident. I wish I hadn't really. But I said, wouldn't it be funny if I'd take some of my patches and I'll, or your patches, whatever, and make a bikini out of them, and whoever loses have their wife wear it for the other guy, get a picture with them, like that. And he's like, oh, that'd be funny, yeah. And there was like, that's as far as we got. It's kind of funny. And he goes, I just told Nancy, she's just laughing like that. All of a sudden at the store, he became very serious. because he already had his deer. I was like that, and I was like, "Jeez, wow, yeah, we're at that."
I bet Sally was very serious too. Whenever you told her about it,
He made he's been successfully married for a long time, and I was unsuccessful, and I'm trying to make sure. I guess I should have told her. She's like. She goes, "You didn't ask me about any of that," But anyways, so I went out, and the other thing is, I talked to Nancy. He loves. If you ever watch, yes, I did. He loves his patches. So, and like I told you can't see his jacket. It's not orange. I'm not telling you orange, but if you glowed your orange meter over it, there's a lot of red and yellow. But anyways,
What's the patches?
big bucks, and the yellow ones are the mast. So I took 2 of my mast ones, and I took and you'll like this, Hal. I went and I dug one that mattered to me. I've got patches that don't mean nothing to me. I've got one patch I'll never part with because it was my very first big buck, and I went into a shoe shop and told my mother about that deer because I'd missed all them deer, and I went and stopped and walked right into where she's working and tell her about my buck. Well, that one will stay on my old jacket. Don't fit. I have another one. This is the one we got together up into Holub, where we dragged out. And I had that. I'd put that on on the jacket when I guided for you. It's an old forest jacket. I put that on because, it looks good when you're guiding. You get to put the patch on, make them feel like they're at least you've got one, whatever. So I put that on. But that buck come from the patch that he's got on this bikini came from that, not from one of the recent ones. Yeah. I got those other ones sitting there. Hey, actually, if there's any of you girls that are buck hunters who want to stand in for my wife. I'll leave you. I'll make patches. You can have your own after. I'll give you the.
I think there's a light bulb over your head that just went off.
I was like, holy cow! There maybe there's some huntresses out there that like to have their own. This is a it's very very unique. Not a lot of people have one like that.
We'll post the picture of the bikini.
Whoever ends up actually wearing it,
I got a picture of it.
But when we go back to what Nancy said, I was sitting there and I go, he loves wearing his patches, doesn't he? I go, maybe I'll just leave that hanging up on his wall, and if he has to go down and take a swim or something, you never know.
I never heard anybody else. I didn't realize Rick did that because I don't wear it anymore, but I've got a vest at home that
has all of them all.
Well, it's completely covered with big buck patches, and my father threw me under the bus once because we were up in Cocajo, and a game warden stopped us, and he told my father, he said, your fluorescent orange that's out of regulations. He said, you got to get yourself a new vest. So my father, rather than deal with his vest, he says, well, what about my kid's vest? What's up with that? And the warden looked at it, and he said, I don't know. I never come across that. He said, that's not in the regs. So I got one at home somewhere that's still cut.
Same
but you
way?
know what? I think the reason why we do that, Rick, is the fluorescent orange underneath it still stays bright orange. If you don't have any patches on it, it'll bleach right out. But if you got them patches all over it, stays nice and bright.
Well, I'll take my other ones. I'll put them all.
Well, that's my oldest jacket. I got 4 big buck patches on the front, and I got a main guide patch on one shoulder, and I think a main antler and skull patch.
You got a yellow one there someplace. So I remember you had to mix.
And the sleeves are starting to rip, but that's my luckiest jacket. I've probably had it 25 years, and usually on warm days I'll wear that jacket.
I forgot everything that we said in that last podcast because I told him I was going to shoot one with remember I was cocky again. I got to stop with that, But I said I'm going to shoot one of that 30-30 because I've never shot. I always use my .6. The other thing is his grandfather was helping him because I remember hearing him say, he goes, my grandfather is right there. So I had no help.
Oh,
I had absolutely no help, people. He had his grandfather and a team of pygmies standing by because when I went in that store,
team of pygmies.
Well, I shouldn't. I got to apologize because that's your sons. but I went in there. There's all these young fellas standing there, and they, you know who that is? I said, I think I do. Would have been the same if Hal had been standing there. I'm pretty sure I know who that cat is. Oh yeah. Well, next year I owe Hal because he when I'm in trouble there, he's the one that hired me still. And I don't know how bad it looked for him because I was in trouble for a really big deer. So I probably if I was guiding deer and I was in trouble for a deer, it didn't hurt. So, but Hal, next year, the first week, me and that guy are going to go out, and I'm just going to promise to try my best. I'm not going to get cocky for him because I could ruin it for everybody.
Well, you want to remember next year if you're up here guiding, Stephen and I don't know about Braden, but we got a bunch of young fellows that they're still in that stage where they like to drag deer. So
oh my God!
If you get one in a
Yeah,
pinch,
they're learning.
Yeah, they don't realize that's work yet.
You know,
I don't think Braden's going to be dragging Garnett's deer now.
I'm gonna. Well, you know what? You know what? Is Lee gonna get her license? If she go, I would actually. We'll work together. I've got a plan, something I've never seen anybody do guiding, and that'll work. If it's we have to have the right first week where it's 100 degrees or whatever. I have no control over weather. I have no control over deer or no control over snow. But I got a plan already, and I've thought about it for a long time, and I'm taking somebody where nobody goes, and we're gonna try it. So
Does this fall under the trickery?
it comes under trickery because there's nobody hunts where I'm about to go. I just have to make sure that he's not scared of water. That's the one thing we'll go from that. But after I got a spot that I'm going to try work and see what happens. So.
Sounds good. Well, this has been fun, huh?
Yeah, good one.
Wicked. Yep.
Yeah. So, hope everybody enjoyed Garnett again, and you don't take him. You don't believe everything he says, anyways. Some people tend to believe everything that's spoken, but if you know Garnett, half it ain't true.
I'm actually pretty honest. That's how I get in trouble going because eventually they wear me down and I tell what I've done.
Garnett, you blew it. I was just trying to cover over a little for you.
Oh, actually, I'm a terrible liar, people. You're right. Thank you, Hal. I'm the worst liar you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if we'll be able to top this, but support our sponsors, ring the bell to subscribe and all of that stuff. And till next week, good luck on the trail.
Hi everyone, team member Mark Sheeran here. I've been helping people solve their addictions for the last 34 years. In 2017, we published the revolutionary non-12-step book, The Freedom Model for Addictions. If you'd like a free paperback copy sent directly to you, go to freebook.freedommodel.org. That's freebook.freedommodel.org. All right, take care.
Hey guys, Joe here. Wanted to take a few minutes to talk about Lake Parlin Lodge. We're a four-season lodge located just south of Jackman. We've got cabins, lodge rooms, mini lodge. We're a big snowmobile destination in the winter, full restaurant, bar, all the amenities that you need for your trip. Open obviously through the summer, right on the lake. Kayaks, canoes, all included with the cabin. We also do a lot of weddings, so if you're looking for a destination wedding, we can do a wedding up to 200 people. And, of course, we've got our hunting season, moose season, deer season. So check us out. We're at lakeparlinlodge.com.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Till next time, good luck on the trail.